Good morning, you guys. Long time no see. You see this guy coming through here? Alright, the title to this one is going to be called The New Norm, you guys. Although I do not consent to what's going on, I didn't vote for it, and I know it circumvents everything the Constitution says and everything our country's founded upon. I pretty much come to the realization after 3 years of flipping out over this that I'm like 1-2% of the population that has a problem with our skies being geoengineered and having these private interests manipulate our weather, protect us from global warming, solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injections, geoengineering. I've come to discover along the way that this is really no longer, it's just, there's no point. Most people do not believe it. They believe what they're being told, that these are persistent contrails. It's a natural phenomenon. Tiny ice particles that are forming here, coming out of the back of that plane. And my entire sky, you guys, I've been witnessing this all morning. Planes just nonchalantly flying back and forth and leaving all these dispersions back and forth here, and ultimately they thin out and turn into this screen that you see covering my head. You know, these aren't clouds. Like I told you, I've been witnessing and flipping out for 3 years. These are not clouds. The persistent contrail theory that they're trying to tell you guys is a bunch of baloney. Even if it were true, you guys, we still have an issue. When exhaust coming out of the back of planes blots out our sun and leaves our sky covered in this disgusting screen. That's a bunch of nonsense, you guys. It's not a conspiracy theory. I've done my research reluctantly for the past 3 years, and to my surprise, you can look it up, solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injections, and geoengineering are in fact our new reality, the new norm. The science is all there. They talk about it nonchalantly if you do the research, that they now own and control the weather, and they're going to save you from global warming by putting a screen over your sky to reflect solar radiation back out into space and cool the planet. The obvious problem I have with that, you guys, is that for 3 years, and let me point out that I've never seen this before in my life, you guys, until about 3.5 years ago. The first 6 months I lived up here, never seen anything like this. Clouds look like clouds. Contrails look like contrails. Short white things that dissipate. As a plane flies by, witnessed a lot of that. I'm a keen observer of nature, and I've been watching and paying attention my whole life to the skies, okay? I appreciate nature. So I was quite shocked one morning when I saw these planes doing this, leaving these lines, like you see there, going from one end of my horizon to the other. And they will just fly back and forth, crisscrosses. I've got film of them, you guys, actually doing loops around the back of my mountain, doing circles, you know, X's, circles, all kinds of stuff. But I find it absolutely unbelievable in my 3-year protest here that it's a non-conversation. Most people, the ones that do know what's going on, don't want to talk about it. They believe that there's nothing they can do about it. And can't say I kind of understand now, you know. There's no point. The people responsible for this have already won the narrative. I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist up here on the mountains, lost the cheese on my cracker. And I'm seeing things. Yeah, I'm seeing things, all right. What I'm seeing is planes flying back and forth all day long, dispersing stuff out of the back of them that's thinning out into this stuff that you think are clouds. And the obvious problem, you guys, with this, and one of the things that's been the most disturbing to me, is that valley below me. I bought this place because of the $1 million view I was sold. Okay, I'm all alone up here on this mountain, and I have $1 million view of Mount Shasta, well I did, in the valley below me. And in the last 3 years, since this came into my life and showed up over my head and into my world, I've watched that valley, you guys, slowly fade away. My $1 million view is slowly faded away, okay? It's now constantly covered year-round. Winter, summer, spring, fall, you guys, it's constantly covered in this fog. I used to be able to see cars coming back and forth from town down there. So, it's been quite disturbing, you guys, because gravity's still in effect. Even if you guys have forgotten it, I have not. And I know what I've been witnessing up here is falling down on all of us. It's falling down on the population below me, and I live with the constant knowledge that whatever they're spraying right here this morning in our skies is falling down on us. And we didn't vote for it or consent to it. That makes it a crime. But after 3 years of protesting, you guys, I've realized I'm like a 1% of the population that's putting up a fight over this, and the truth is that they've already won. I told a close friend of mine this last year, you know, that basically I'm starting to realize they already won because most people don't even believe it. They're believing the story that they're being sold, that these are persistent contrails that are blotting out their sun and covering their sky and leaving all of them covered in a cloud and a fog, a creepy fog. Most people are so busy and tired and worn down with just trying to survive that they don't have time or the energy to get involved in this reality, and I can't say that I blame them. I mean, I understand, you know, but this fight's already pretty much been lost because most people, willful ignorance and failure to act is what most Americans, people are guilty of. And therefore it's really a, you know, winless fight. It's over. I mean, I have witnessed them disperse so much stuff in the last 3 years, you guys, over this population. It's been frightening. It's been downright disturbing. And the funny thing is if you took the time to do the research, you'll find out it's not a conspiracy. They actually acknowledge what they're doing. It's called solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injections, and geoengineering, you guys. There's another one right in there coming through. I don't know if my camera will get it, but all day long and for 3 years I've witnessed this, you guys, and I guess it's the new norm. It's the new norm. Private interest, military-industrial complex. These private corporations basically hijacked our skies, our weather, and the rabbit hole goes even deeper than that. It's some sci-fi stuff that I really don't want to talk about or even believe, but it's got something to do with 5G technology and frequency warfare and all of this stuff. Aluminum particulates they're spraying on us is one of them that they acknowledge. Basically, you know, we're all going to be saturated in it, and it's a weaponized system is what I've come to learn, you guys. It's a weaponized system against all of the earth and all of the people on it. And they're going to be able to do all kinds of weird, freaky stuff with it. It's about full control. Full control of the weather, full control of the planet, the sky, and full control of you. There's another one coming back. No, it's a dispersion from earlier. But yeah, it's the new norm. And I just was coming up my mountain this morning doing a hike, and I'm just baffled when I see these planes flying back and forth, laying all this stuff this morning. And shaking my head, thinking, well, Mike, it's the new norm, you know? It's the new world you live in. Somebody pinch me. I must be dreaming, right? Yeah, we didn't vote for it or consent to it, you guys, and that makes it a crime. And nobody's willing to do anything about it, and I find that fascinating. And the 1% that are willing to do anything about it are getting nowhere, because these guys responsible for it could care less. They're doing it, and they could care less about your protest. I hope I'm wrong about that, but that's been my experience. It's a full global takeover, you guys. And yeah, so they're getting me trained to the point where I don't even talk about it anymore. I felt like I owe my subscribers, Dan Dapper, Debbie Borba, David Yates. Pardon me, my brain's saturated in aluminum right now, and I can't remember everybody else, but I just want to thank you guys. You guys have really been friends since this has started, and I appreciate you guys' support and friendship during this absolute horrific nightmare time we live in. And I just can't get over how the American people are not up in arms over this, you know? You can fly over American soil without the Americans' vote or consent and disperse stuff over their heads and in their skies all day long, and none of them are going to do anything about it. They don't even want to protest or even talk about it. And that just baffles me. But again, what goes up, you guys, must come down. Gravity is still in effect. And that valley below me, constantly covered now, year-round, through all seasons, with this stuff, I'm guessing, I've never seen it before in my life, and all day long, all this stuff you see is being dispersed out of the back of airplanes. All of it. Look at that line still hanging in that sky, you guys. It'll thin out into everything you see here as the minutes go by. It thins out into a cloud and covers the sun, the sky, and falls down on you and me. And nobody seems to mind or wants to even talk about it or deal with it. I say Trump 4 more years, guys. I'm joking, but you know what I mean? I mean, obviously our president neither has the will or the power to protect us, the people, and the Constitution against these enemies, foreign and domestic. And we're going to vote for it again. That's how dumbed down and idiotic we become, you guys, that we can't see what's happening over our own head. And again, this is not a conspiracy theory. You do the research, they'll tell you right to your face this is what they're doing. And they did it without our voter consent. Meanwhile, all this stuff is falling down on us, and we're all bathing in it, you know? I don't know. It's a dark realm, you guys, and a dark reality, and that's all I can say. The world's corrupted and is obviously run by some very sinister dudes or forces, you know? And there's only one hope I know of, and that I've ever seen. Here comes another one, you guys, right up through there. Only one hope I've ever seen or known of in my lifetime, you guys, and that's Jesus Christ. And that's really all I can say. Seek him today, say yes to him. Free gift of salvation, you guys, that's being offered to you. I think it's the only thing in this lifetime that's truly free. And they call him faithful and true for a reason, you guys. Trust him. Just trust. It comes down to trust. That's all I know. There is nothing else, you know? Look at this. The only hope I know of, you guys, because this is the new norm in the world we live in. Clouds made out of chemicals. and planes that leave our skies and us covered in chemicals all day long, every day, year round now. You know? It's tough. It's tough having to learn how to not talk about this with your friends and stuff. I can be sitting in the front yard with my friends and they're just flying back and forth doing circles, X's, loops, what you're seeing right there, all day long, and it's a non-conversation. I've been kind of trained to not talk about it anymore because I get this feedback like, oh God, there goes Mike again talking about the chemtrails. Like everybody's accepted it. Everybody's accepted this, you guys. And I cannot understand that. This is no longer America, and you can no longer call yourselves Americans or patriots if you're not coming out armed and ready to flip out over this. Because again, they did it without our voter consent, you guys. That makes it a crime. A crime. And like I said, Mr. Trump obviously has not the will or the power to protect us, the citizens, and the Constitution from this crime. And we're going to vote for him again. Perfect. They got most people so dumbed down and so distracted that they cannot even see what's going on over their heads here. All day long, I witnessed this, and for 3 years. They'll come out here and they will hit it hard. So many of these planes fly back and forth so fast. Doing this. So I just can't get over it, you guys, that it's a non-conversation. I was talking to my mother yesterday morning, and I'm sitting, I got a little hole to look out through my window where the curtain's open, and I'm sitting there having my coffee, and I'm just shaking my head because I see them doing this, and these things spreading out right as the sun's coming up, and I can't talk about it or acknowledge it anymore. I have to put on my blinders and ignore it. And Mom asked me what I'm doing this morning, and I told her, oh, I'm just sitting here watching my new clouds being sprayed out of the back of airplanes. And she blew it off like, oh, it's not important. You're overreacting. Just don't even talk about it. Absolutely unbelievable to me. It really is. But this is where most people are at with this. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. So you're all guilty of willful ignorance and failure to act. And where this goes from here, it's really on you. Our forefathers had a lot to say about those who see evil and failed to do anything about it. You deserve what you got coming to you. And I'm sorry I'm here with you, because if it were up to me, we'd be storming the castle and having this shit stopped immediately. But can't do it alone. Can't do it with the 1%. And I'm not spending the rest of my time standing out here doing this. That's why you haven't seen any videos from me lately. But I felt I owe it to my subscribers and the people that have cared enough to pay attention. I really needed you guys. I needed to be doing this because this is the only outlet I've had. And I'm not going to sit around while tyranny takes over and do nothing. You know what I mean? If I see evil, we're going to have a problem. And too bad I'm alone on that. So congratulations, everybody. Your children and future generations will certainly be proud of you. All right, guys. I've had enough. That's it. Look at that. Every day now, the new norm in America. Congratulations. You should be ashamed, all of you. Love you anyway. Peace out. Unbelievable.